it's just not great for your greatness. So if this speaks to you and you get it, you understand it, then feel free, ask me any questions, because this is a topic I am incredibly passionate about, and one that we explored on Navigating Narcissism now just this week, getting out of comfort zones. But with anything I teach to people, actually I should have my board here and I should be teaching. What you have to understand is the value of stuckness. We need to understand that being stuck has much value. Life is predictable, it's safe. You don't beat up on yourself because it went wrong. And often many clients who tend to get stuck, one of the challenges that I often see that they have is they have very black and white thinking. Well, Key, if I do this, then that needs to happen. And black and white thinking when it comes to you, your life, your passions, your interests, wanting to manifest, wanting to grow, is very unhelpful, because all you're doing is a bit like me doing my TikToks and my YouTubes. If I only focused on outcomes, Lord Jesus, I would have given up YouTube long time ago. Yeah. It's about the process, and it's about what the process can and does for you. This is a space where you build confidence, self-belief, and self-esteem. And that quality of resilience. You see, resilience is something you can't buy. You cannot, you have to, it's like a 6-pack in the gym, 4-pack for the girls. Yeah. It has to be attained. So if you feel stuck and your comfort zone ain't working for you, trust me, you are not alone. Yeah. Hello, Dental East Side. Big up. Yeah. Trust me, you're not alone. But what you must understand is stuckness has a value. I spoke to a potential client last week and she says, Key, I've been watching you for years. Years. Been in the relationship 20. You see, this is a common issue, right? So whatever happens, sometimes, all blessed, what happens is the pain has to push. Yeah. So in you, within you, you know you could do, be, have more, yet you're not uncomfortable enough. And this is why your comfort zone, I believe, needs to be rephrased to your stagnation zone. Stagnant. You know, like when you pick up a cup and it don't smell right. Stagnant water, not great for the human organism. Yeah. So stagnation is not healthy for humans. And your comfort zone, I believe we need to reframe. It's not your comfort zone. It's where you stagnate. You get into routines, unhealthy habits, and life becomes humdrum. So we must understand that there's safety in that. Life is predictable. There are routines. You do it on autopilot. Bit like, yes, Grug, or humdrum. You know what I mean? Same old, same old. Same old faces, same old places. And for some of us, that's where we feel we feel confident. However, you know, you ever have that voice inside where you know you could do something more, be something more? You ever have that, you know, like a deep inner part of you just knows? That's where our inner conflict lies. And so when it comes to our comfort zones, understand the value of playing it safe. Playing it safe is also where we become mediocre, somewhat average, and our uniqueness and our potential does not get the opportunity to flourish. Now, how long you choose to stay there is all up to you. It's all up to you how long you stay there. We do have choice. That being said, there are 2 types of change. Change that comes internally from within. So we decide. It's a bit like being an obese kid, right? and you're humiliated, yeah, to lose weight by people, that humiliation doesn't necessarily inspire you to lose weight. That can actually inspire you to eat more rubbish. I ain't lying. Yeah. So the change that comes within, in some circumstances, can be beneficial because your hand is forced. So, for example, if an obese individual decides, right, I'm going to lose the weight for me, that's an internal change. And we believe as therapists, at times, it depends, it's not just black and white, that can be far more beneficial when change comes within. But you must understand that there is incredible value being in your comfort zones. Your comfort zones are safe, they're predictable, you don't get sweat on your brow, there's no anxiety, right? But what you must also understand is we don't grow there. Any questions you have, let your girl Key know. Yeah? It's not where you grow. Life becomes humdrum. And at times you have this inner conflict where there's a part of you that knows I could do, be more, I could do better. Ever had that? Listen, I was on IKEA checkout tills for 10 years. 10 years, you get your special Allen key. That's a treat they give you, and £100 worth of vouchers. Thank you very much. Put that towards my Billy bookcases. If you know, you know. But that inner conflict, there's something inside you. However, your head may tell you it can't be done. You may believe it can't be done. And often this makes us stagnate and we don't try because we don't want to expose ourselves. And playing it safe is not a way to live a fulfilling life. I'm sorry, not sorry. It's not the best to live. As I often say, it ain't great for your greatness. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like, let me know I'm not alone out there. Give me a repost, share with your enemy, share with your friend. It's your girl, Keeley Taverner, up in here. So if what we do need, though, is to know that it is a process. Like I was saying before, a lot of people who come to your girl Key, the brave, courageous souls who are like, Key, I need to chat to you. Yeah. I know I've needed to see you for years, but you know what? I say it's okay. Sometimes the pain has to push us. Pain has to push. So our hand is forced. Yeah. And that can be the birthplace for change. Remember, in the comfort zone, life is predictable, it's safe. Yeah. You have your little routine. You go home, you watch your Netflix binge and you doom scroll for a couple of hours. But if you want to live a fulfilling life, if you don't want a mediocre life, bang mediocre in if you don't want a mediocre life. It is your duty and your responsibility, sorry, not sorry, to advocate for yourself and to identify the fears that keep you stuck. You see, there's two types of change. It can be internal, something that comes from you, external, the situation pushes you. However, what we must understand is that some people, when it comes to problem solving, are reactive. So they are not proactive. Have you ever dealt with someone who's reactive? I don't know about you, but it can be very frustrating. I think, it's not always black and white, but reactiveness can leave a passiveness. It means other people have power and control over you. And so when they pull the rug, for example, let me give you an example. I work for probation. Probation were going to make me redundant. I never liked that. I've been studying books at Brunel, studying psychology, and I thought I got my dream job. I was like, hold on. So I got the job, and now you lot are going to make me redundant. I made a vow that day that I would never let an organization have that much power and control over me. That situation forced my hand. It forced my hand because it was from that I decided I would work for myself. I said, God, I don't know how I'm going to do it. If you're a believer, give me a whoop, whoop, a hallelujah and an amen. Yeah. I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I can't do this to myself. I never come this far to fail. If you know you never come this far to fail, let your girl Key know, because it ain't no joke out there nowadays. Yes, I see you. I see you. God on you for not allowing to. No, sir. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it was, and you know what's interesting? It was a time of the Tottenham riots that they said they were making us redundant. I'm like, how are they making people redundant when the place is ramajam? Ram in the prisons, and they wanted to make us redundant. But you know what? It was a wonderful, blessed opportunity for me. I went to see a coach, and the coach, he said, and as I sat in the room when they told us we were going to be made redundant, I decided to draw a logo. And that said logo is the logo for Key for Change today. So my people, don't underestimate a power of a dream within you. I believe, and I say this to people all the time, and they look at me and they laugh. I say it's the quest to unfold your potential is a life quest, should you choose to take it. Not everybody is going to be up for it. Yeah. Not everyone. A lot of us will play it safe, and I get it. I totally respect why we do. But for brave souls, change makers, people who have the audacity to want better for themselves, if you know what I'm saying, thank you for the heart, Shablu, much appreciated. Yeah, man. If you've got the audacity to define the odds and low expectations that people may have for you, big up to yourself. Because this is a life challenge. How will I defy the odds? Remember, the greatest battle is within. Many of us go chatting and talking our dreams to people who don't get it. Often, sorry, not sorry, they're living a mediocre life. I ain't lying. Listen, I've told my dream to many close confidants, and they've looked at me, and the facial expression said, who do you think you are? I could see it. You know when they don't have to say, but you can feel the vibes. Yeah. And don't worry, your girl Key has always got an answer back from them. I'm a child of God. My playing small does not serve the world. You have to speak highly of yourselves. But you see, many of us, we don't speak highly of ourselves. We put other people on pedestals. Ladies, especially the ones you love with, you fall in love with. I ain't lying. I see you putting people on pedestals. Anytime you put people on pedestals, please understand that you are promoting a God complex for them. Humans are fallible. I don't know about you, but I failed myself. I was supposed to be in the gym pumping iron this morning at 6 o'clock. Alarm went off and I told myself a wonderful story. 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock I woke up. I had a meeting with my team at 10. 9:55 in my robe, I was having a team meeting with my team, and they were like, what, you couldn't be bothered to get dressed? We fail ourselves as humans. Be careful of any human you put on a pedestal. You must understand that stagnation, staying in your so-called comfort zones, ain't great for your greatness. So when anxiety, depression, sadness, and sorrow follow you and find you, it's often a natural outcome of our choices. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not always an advocate that the brain is wired a particular way and that's why we're sad. What that does is that diminishes the power of choice and how we can create our reality. I tell people every day, I'm not the therapist for everybody, but I'm the therapist for somebody. And I've been here this many years, so something must be working. We are manifesting our reality through the choices that we make. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live a life of fear. As I said to God, when they didn't give me the job that I knew I should have had because I was overqualified. Yeah. I made a pact with God. I said, the more I apply for these jobs, it's affecting my self-esteem. This is the last job I will apply for with the Babylonians. Them, if you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a reshare. It's the last job. They will never see me apply for another job with them. And to this day, I haven't, by God's grace. You see, the people keep me where I am. The people, big love to the people who, you know who you are. We give thanks. So I do digress. The challenge is, if you're sad, you're lonely, you're blue, you're hurt, often what happens to many of us is we overinvest in others in the hope that they will have your best interests at heart. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know. Kay, something you said to me has struck with me. You can be mad at everyone, but you enabled it. My brother, you know I'm not backwards at coming forwards. I got to say it how I see it. Like I said, I'm not the therapist for everybody. I'm not going to just sit there and nod my head like, okay, how did that make you feel? I'm rolling up my sleeves. I'm in there with you. You know why? I see potential in you. Just as others have blessed me and seen potential in me, and they pulled me aside and said, girl, I need a word with you because you're taking a left and you need to be taking a right. Sometimes, I'm not sure if it's cultural. I believe it's cultural. Big up Northwest 10, place where I grew. Sometimes, that's what grassroots, we keep it straight like an arrow. And if, like I said, if you want the long-windedness, I'm not the therapist for you. Finding the right therapist is not always easy. Give thanks. Blessed love. Kay, I see you. I feel you, man. It's love all the time. Closed doors are always a blessings, right? So the challenge is, and this is something that I see as I'm from a council estate in Northwest London. And the challenge is, and people may not like to hear this, is the psychology. Sometimes we're expecting somebody to save us. Sorry, not sorry. And as I say, for many, many years consistently, no one is coming to save you. You must learn to save yourself. If you don't learn to save yourself, your life will be a reflection of that. Sometimes we're hoping for incentives. Sometimes we're hoping that our love interest will be the person that makes us feel magnificent and wonderful. You're putting your eggs in one basket. If there's a pebble in my shoe, I feel the pain, somebody else doesn't. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it is your duty to put yourself first. But firstly, I've definitely learned from your video is accountability for yourself. Absolutely, one must. But you know what I've realized, my sister? Accountability is not for everybody. You know, the problem with accountability is, this is the problem with accountability, and this is the reason why people don't like it. And I can always tell people who are not going to like working with me. Because if you want to sit there talking about what Big Dick Derek did to you in 1985 and why your life is rack and ruin, you know what? Me and you ain't going to get along so well. I ain't lying if you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to be very curious about the choices that you made intentionally or unintentionally. Unconscious choices, we all do it. And if you're the type of individual who is open to self-reflection, bombastic. If not, it's not going to work. This is why your girl Key, I don't work with narcissists. Me and narcs don't get on too well. Narcissists deflect. I'm asking self-inquiring questions. They're taking me around the mulberry bush. I'm like, brother, you still ain't answered the question. You can't seduce me and shake me off your feather tail. I'm a whole firm. This is why when individuals want their partners who are narcissistic, who they claim are narcissistic, because you know everybody be telling everybody that everybody narcissistic are. Everybody's an empath and everybody boyfriend a narcissist. Okay. But this is why couples therapy with narcissists is not particularly great, because they don't like me. And then what? Listen, it is what it is. We understand the game. Yeah? But the challenge is, we have to be responsible. No. We don't have to be responsible for our lives. But you see, if you don't want to be responsible for your life, you'll forever be a victim. Hashtag right victim. And victims will create victim consciousness. Nothing's ever their fault. It's always poor me. And what they actually need is people around them who support and collude with them in their poor me status. Yeah? That's called stagnation and stuckness. That's how your life become lackluster, not great for your greatness. And I don't know about you, but I know these people here, we want to live a fulfilling life. If you are an individual who chooses to take responsibility for your life, you must understand this is not an easy walk. Sometimes I wish I could blame, but I've had a word with myself. I've read too many psychology books to start blaming Fred, Jim, John, Harry, and Sally. I have to think about, what did I do to manifest this? Because God knows if I manifested it, then I have the power and the capacity to unmanifest it, to redirect my attention so I can be in alignment with the things that sit right with my soul. Am I lying? Am I lying, my people? Let me know. But this is not for everybody. And the true challenge is people often get stuck and stagnate. And when you get stuck and you stagnate, combined with a sense of inner conflict, this is a recipe. It's a breeding ground for the old mental health problems, as they keep telling us. The breeding ground for mental health problems. If you doom scroll, if you're not getting out of your comfort zone. Now, as I've articulated, getting out of your comfort zone ain't easy either. And one of the things I chose to do was to talk about it, to share about it, so that other people can understand we are all human. What affects one affects all. Keeley Taverner is not trying to act like I'm here and I'm dehumanizing myself. I have my troubles. Yeah. But you know what I do have? I got my herd. I got my backup team. Sometimes you need people to believe in you when you don't believe in yourself. You got to look in your circle. Who's your backup crew? And over time, you have to learn to be unapologetic about eradicating people who ain't great for your greatness. Bad vibes, bad energy. We feel them, we know them. But many of us are incredibly polite. I ain't lying. And so we be nice, bless us empathic people pleasers us. And we hold on, or we're scared to take the move. That's why many of us stay in WhatsApp groups that ain't working for us no more. We stay because oh, well, I don't want to leave. Then it makes it look like I'm being funny. No, it don't. That's your interpretation of it. If that thing is filling up your camera roll, taking up your good time and energy, and it no longer serves you, why not remove yourself from it? And that's the challenge with transitions. That's the challenge with transitions. You know what? Listen, I love self-help books, yeah? But one of the things I've realized, when we are going through our changes, you need companionship. You need a shoulder. You need someone to send a voice note. Yo, Key is kicking off down here. Don't worry, I'll voice note you back. Like I said, I'm not your traditional therapist, yeah? I get it. Because as you begin to take back your power for your life, there will be unintended consequences. I'm not here to lie to you to do all that positive psychology rubbish that is not great for your greatness. There will be relationship casualties. When you step into your power, you start to take accountability for yourself and you start to creep out of your comfort zones. You must understand there will be ripples and repercussions. And the people who benefit from your stuckness will not appreciate your transformation. If you know what I'm talking about, put bad mind in the comments, please, so I know I'm not alone here. Yeah, it's the truth. Know thy enemy. Not everybody is for you. They were for you when you were stuck, going round in vicious cycles, and you were down with the foolishness. But when you start pick up your two self-help books, see one of mine here. I'm always promoting everybody else. Why Love Hurts. Promote me own. Yeah. When you start to step up into your greatness and you start to shift away, Houston, there will be problems. And the people who are not alongside you will surprise you because you thought they were your ride or die. Rest in peace, DMX. You thought they was ride or die. That's when they love you when you're down. That's right, my brother. They're not here for the elevation. My brother, they benefit from your stagnation. They want you stuck. It benefits for them for you to be stuck because they're able in some way, shape or form to leverage off of you emotionally, psychologically, financially, add something in there with a Lee at the end You know what I'm talking about spiritually. See one there? So if you have the audacity to want more for your life, to live an authentic life, you know, most, be nice, Keeley. Well, I'll just say it as it is. I've started, so I'll finish. Most people are living an inauthentic life. Most people are living an inauthentic life. And the more inauthentic we are, the more that we are out of alignment with ourself, and the self that emerge is a masked self. We have a mask. And nobody quite knows. And I get it. I'm from St. Ralph's. I couldn't play Spice Girls coming onto my estate. I like Spice Girls. I had to hold it down on Pitfield Way. You know what I'm saying? I had to act like it was all dancehall and reggae, but it was a lie. I like my Spice Girls. Couldn't play that on the block. You know what I'm talking about? I was incongruent. Now, I ain't saying I'm going to roll down to my mum's pumping Spice Up Your Life. Even now, I probably wouldn't do it. My mum would be like, what are you playing? Right? But the reality is, we often live an inauthentic life, trying to make yourself fit in. Just like this weekend, I went to Butlins. Some of my friends, they say, Key, why do you go there? Why do you go there? What do you mean why I go there? I like it there. Like, oh, the people are this, the people are that. I love to watch people in their authenticness. I'm a people watcher. I am psychology informed. I love Butlins. It's the best of working class British culture, and I absolutely adore it. Garage Weekender, big up Spoonie. Well done. Congratulations to you. Lovely to see garage, British-based music, grassroots music, still have life in it, and to be able to, you know, support and bring so many people together. Really blessed to have been there. Love and peace, Key. I'll reach out soon. All right, my brother, I see ya. Yeah? So you must understand, many of us are living an incongruent. I'm using my psychological terms, forgive me. My mum's always telling me off using big words. What I'm saying is, we often become inauthentic. And this is how we play small, or we're worried about what other people think, so we don't honor ourselves. I am glad and proud to announce I'm a Spiceette, lovely Spice Girls, and I'm no longer ashamed of it. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Yes, we do it to fit in because we don't want to be ostracized by the crowd. But as we get older, if you do not explore your uniqueness, your individualism, you're still going to be hanging around with your friends from the 90s. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it depends on their own progress. Understand that there is value in your comfort zones, but you cannot grow there. And for some of us, and I know I had this, and I know that one of my biggest issues were when I was at IKEA, saying to people, excuse me, can you leave the yellow bag behind, please? Excuse me, can you leave the yellow bag behind, please? No, that shelving unit is not £5. It's £40 because people have been changing tickets. It got hectic in Northwest 10. There was a part of me that knew I could do more, and I left school with no qualifications. So I'm like, well, how are you going to do more when really and truly there's nothing going on? This is the power of self-help reading. Went back to education, access course, degree. Here we go. There you go. Northwest 10. Yeah. Right? Many of us are stuck and we're in inner conflict. All I can say to you based on the degrees that I have is there is genius within you. Genius that wants to unfold. And it is a part of how you're wired. And I believe we should all make it our quest to discover and explore more of who we are. And you can't do that in the same old, same old. That's why I launched my new business in Miami. I thought, well, if I'm going to do it, just do something different in a totally different environment. That takes courage and bravery. And I tell you, one of the things I have that many people don't is I've got a trusted circle. And you've got to have people who have your back, because there will be times when you doubt, like, why am I doing this? How can I do this? The voice in your head Preston Manor, yeah? You see the voice in your head, people. If you know what I'm talking about, forget your enemies. The voice within. This voice is a voice that determines the quality of your life and your relationship with fear. What is your relationship like with fear? Does fear have you in a stranglehold? Listen, I must remember, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask your girl Key. You're not alone here. I've been told I've got to make them more reactive. They're like, Key, it's like you just preach. Who knows? Yeah? What questions do you have? You need to understand there's value in stagnation. So when we get into inner conflict about change, we know we want growth. We need a challenge. We want to enhance our life. We want to create opportunity. But how? What's the business? Inbox me and I'll tell you. Same field, same field. Everything I do is all psychology related. Do you ever do inner child work with people? Because I think that's the barrier to my growth. Inner child work is essential. This is why I have my Care Bear. My Care Bear is connected to my inner child. See, as a kid, I wanted this Care Bear and I didn't get it. And so as I've worked on an inferiority complex, yeah, anybody know about having an inferiority complex? Never feeling good enough, feeling uncomfortable in certain circles like you're not supposed to be there. Don't let them tell you it's imposter syndrome either. We feel inferior. And when you have a sense of inferiority, the work is to try to work out where in your timeline that was. Not getting a Care Bear was a place where I identified it. So as an adult, I purchased it for myself. I've sent many a client off to Smith's to go and buy the Barbie, the Cindy, the Hot Wheels car that they never got as a kid. This is symbolic meanings. And when you work on your inner child, if that is what my inner child wants, she gets. I have to give to the inner child. Many of us, for whatever reasons, we love our parents, but everybody comes with their Samsonites. Yeah? May not have been able to give for whatever reason. As an adult, it's my responsibility to heal my inner child, no matter who wounded me. And if I don't like that, sit down and bawl about it then, innit? Sit down and feel sorry for yourself. Or run to the doctor and get the doctor to give you some tablets that will change your brain chemistry. I don't know about you, but I'd rather pick up a book and have a little colouring session to work out what the ras is going on with me wounded inner child. Am I lying? Some of us don't want to do it. They fear the therapeutic chair. I don't know what they think is going to happen there. I have to say to people, listen, I'm not your traditional therapist. We're just going to have a chat. We're just going to have a chat. It's just a chat. You don't have to work with me, but obviously you've reached out. Let's have a conversation. Let me understand in what ways you're sabotaging your greatness. In what ways you put other people on pedestals and you play small. Playing small is not serving you. And not everybody will be able to transition. Not everybody will. And I totally respect that. Some of us have to respect people's stuckness. You can't keep trying to drag them. Oh, Key, can you talk to me, boy? Stop dragging them to places they won't want to go. Stuckness benefits people. It's predictable. It's safe. You ever dated somebody? Let's call it in the dating game. I'm trying to steer away from the dating thing, but I can't. It just always goes back there. You ever dated someone and you see a whole heap of potential, but every day they're just on the same old. And you here trying to work miracles to change them. I'm 47 years young nowadays. I'm just accepting folk as they are. We salute that. Ladies, do not do it to yourself. Man them, do not do it to yourself. It's not great for your greatness. And you are putting years The change never came from within. It never came from within. It was something that you were perpetually trying to generate. Why do you want them to change? I believe for our own selfish reasons. And people don't always like to hear that. Sorry, not sorry. I'm not the therapist for everybody. Learn to accept people as they are, quick and fast, especially for you single people out there. Quick and fast. Don't be getting attached. Quick and fast, so you don't get attached. So you can do a nice reverse quickly and fastly, up, out of there, if it ain't what it says on the tin. Remember, pay attention to words and deeds, words and behavior. Many got lyrics like Miss Dynamite, yet they fail to put those into action. I don't know about you, but I like somebody that under promises and over delivers. Many of us are dealing with people that over promise and under deliver. I said, brother, this girl can't be dealing with disappointment, looking at phone, looking for two blue ticks, only one blue tick, offline, not online. This ain't great for my greatness. We have to become unapologetic about who is given access to our circle. Unapologetic. If you truly want to live a good life, an abundant life, a transformational life. You want to manifest? Audit your phone. I write about that in my book, Why Love Hurts. You want to manifest? Audit your phone. Audit your phone, because that's where a lot of, listen, there's no two ways about it. That is where your attention goes. Where attention goes, energy flows. We are organisms. We have limited energy. So if you're sitting there waiting for two blue ticks, online, offline, on, offline, that's the same energy that could be used for manifestation. I'm now unapologetic, and it's beautiful. Absolutely. We don't lose our heart, but you have to become unapologetic about your efforts to live a good life. I'm not a massive advocate about living a happy life. Happiness is an emotion. You visit it for a little while. People just want to permanently set up base there. Life is filled with sorrow. If you want to understand more about this, go and read existential psychology. Yeah? Existentialism. Yeah? Life is filled with sorrow. No one can circumnavigate it. It's a part of life. I'm not looking to be happy. I'm looking to live a good life. I want to live a good life. I want to live a content life. Contentment, in my humble view, is superior to happiness. Life is a journey, my dear friend. Life is a journey. We're all on the journey. The quest, it's about your quest in life. Should you choose to accept the quest as a people pleaser, as an empath, I believe, and I see all the time, this weekend I'm going to be at the Body, Mind, Spirit Festival. They didn't give me a speaking gig of it. But you know what? What I realize is it's a lifelong journey. You don't ever arrive. Challenges will come. Storms will come your way. How you respond to the storms of life is essential. Yes, we will feel sad. We will feel hurt. And it's a part of life. How you contend with that is the key. That is the key. Greetings, my people. I want to thank you. If you've got any questions for your girl Key, I've done my intro. Oof, I put sweat on my brow. Yeah. And you've got a question about your comfort zone, why you're stuck, why you stay in situations that ain't great for you. We've all done it. You know, inside you kind of know. The challenge is, what is your relationship with fear? Because your relationship with fear will determine the quality of your life. I hear the Bible say we walk by faith, not by fear. Lord, that one ain't easy. It rolls off the tongue nicely. Rolls off the tongue nicely, but trust me, to live a faith-based life, takes courage and virtue, and it builds resilience. And I totally respect that quest, that process ain't for everybody. Freedom is not free, my people. My hope for you, and this is one of the words when I hear clients say, I know they're ready to fly, I know they're ready to go. My hope for you, and trust me, this rolls off the tongue really easy, but to practice this is no joke, is that you give yourself grace, compassion, and kindness. Many of us struggle to give ourselves grace, compassion, and kindness, yet we got it for lots of other people though. I ain't lying. You got it for everybody else but yourself. You're brutal with yourself. You're unkind to yourself. You're not nice to yourself. You call yourself all kind of names. But you wouldn't do that to somebody else. So understand there is power in your comfort zone. But you can either be proactive in this life, where even in spite of the fear, one of the mentors that I had, Lara Jonah from Wormwood Scrubs, bless her, she took me under her wing. She must have thought this girl needs some help. She always said to me, Key, what I like about you is you got courage. We don't talk about courage enough. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the having the fear and you walk with the fear. You walk with the fear. Because let me tell you something. You see, if you let fear control your life, Lord Jesus, if you let fear govern your life will become small. I worked with a client once, and the first thing she said, like, I don't want to leave him, Key. I don't want to leave him. I said, I'm not here to tell you to leave him. Stay. Stay. You know you're going to stay anyway. You've been staying for 20 odd years. I'm not here to tell you to leave nobody. We don't even have to worry about that. Let me just we just have a little chat. That's all we're going to do. We're going to have a little chat. No one's telling you to leave anybody. You've not left anyway. If any therapist tells you need to leave, I'd question the therapy. We're not here to tell you what to do. I just want to help you to understand yourself so you can make informed choices. It's as simple as that. Helping you to understand yourself so you know you can't come tell, okay, no, you made a choice, sister. Unless coercive control is in operation. And if you don't know, I did a video on this week. Coercive control is a whole different game. It's a notch up. It's when you can't even think for yourself no more. If you can't think for yourself no more, someone else is in control. And that's another psychological process that most people just don't truly get. So what I hope you understand, what my hope is that you understand that your comfort zone is there for a reason, but it is the absolute killer of your dreams. If you want to live a fulfilling life, stepping out of your comfort zone is essential to your greatness. It's essential. And the reason why we don't want to do it, we circumnavigate it, is because of our relationship with fear. Fear is one of the biggest determinants. Absolutely, my sister. Had to be. Studied Rogers. Yeah. Fear. What's the greatest fear you have? Let me even ask you, what is one thing that you want for your precious self? One dream, one aspirations. People think they come to therapy with your girl Key and we go sit there and talk about all the problems from yesteryear. No, I'm fascinated by your dreams and your aspirations. And my head loves a conundrum. I've always done puzzles as a kid. Kind of makes sense backwards. You present me with a puzzle, I'm always going to activate that part of my mind that likes to solve. Tell me your dreams, tell me your aspirations. But fundamentally, what is the biggest block to your dreams and aspirations? What is your biggest block? What keeps you stuck? Which keeps you in your stagnation zone? Going round and round and round in vicious cycles. Some of us are frightened. Oh, clients don't like that word. I'm not frightened. Some of us are scared. We are but human after all. When we step out of our comfort zone, we become vulnerable. And you need trusted people around you, not the people that ridicule you. Sometimes we have to walk in silence because some of the people around us ain't the people we need to be sharing with. If you know what I'm talking about, give me a heart, give me a like, give me a share. Let me get my 3 million views. I think I'm worthy of it by now. That's the ego talking. A little bit of humor as well. A little bit of humor always goes a long way. Yeah? You have to learn to be your own best friend. Sometimes we don't have people in our circle. You ever told somebody your dream and they've looked at you like you're berserk? Remember that word, berserk? Like something's wrong with you. Do you know how much people I used to tell my dreams to and they used to be like, yeah, really? The eyes, body language said, yeah? Hurt my soul, hurt my spirit. But I realized the value of mentorship. Stranger danger. Being mentored by people I never met before. Sometimes we think it should come from within, our closest confidants. You ever have that naivety? Sorry, I'm 47 now, right? We can call it naive. You have that naivety that you thought people would be on your team. And then as life unfolds and you have the courage and the bravery and the audacity to want more for your life, you start to feel the bad vibes. You ever have that? That's how you know you're on the right path. I said to a client the other day, she goes, Key, I'm pissing everybody off. I'm getting rid of everybody. All my relationships are going. I said, sister, the therapy is working. Let's get a whoop whoop for that. That's when you know it's working. That means the people around you weren't great for your greatness. They weren't great for your greatness. A part of you already knew. See, sometimes there's a part of us, call it intuition, call it gut, call it instinct, call it the God within, whichever discipline you come from. Some of us, we already know within our knower, if you know what I'm talking about. You ever know something deep down yet? They ain't manifested in your life yet? You can't even work it out with your head. Too many of us live in our heads, trying to work it all out, That's another reason why you stagnate, because you want all your ducks lined up in a row. No, it don't work like that. Trust the process. And fear not. I hate that statement at times. Trust the process. It gets on my own nerves. But in the process, we must trust. Life must be lived forwards and understood backwards. This is how we build resilience, faith, courage. Who are you to want better for yourself, to want to be healed, to want to live your dream? Who do you think you are? Why are you never satisfied? You're never satisfied, are you? You always want more and more and more. What does the voice in your head tell you that keeps you stuck, stagnating, going round in vicious cycles? You must learn to befriend that voice within. That voice has a good intention, believe it or not. It wants you to play safe so that you stay in your area of comfort, where you circumnavigate anxiety, uncertainty. But the challenge is, if you succumb and you give that voice power, your life will become small. You don't get it on your terms. It doesn't work on your terms. It works on different terms. I hope this message may speak to a soul out there. Somebody who might be battling, beating up on themselves, stuck, stagnating, or you've got a dream, and for whatever reason, you just feel like you're not able to fulfill your deep ambitions. It's okay. Nothing beats time, and it is never too late. Whether you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, it's never too late. Where there is life, there is always hope, my people. The challenge is, will you take a step and believe in yourself? That is the backbone of believing yourself. And this cannot be bought. It is hard won through life experiences. And trust me, when you overcome, you feel victorious. You ever overcome a fear and you then look back and think, why did it take me so long? Why did I hold on for so long? Why I never leave before? Ever had that? Fascinating, isn't it? That's why you can't believe the head. But we must think about the people we have around us. Are the people good for you? You've got to think about your circle, but also your inner workings. Your inner workings. So this talk tonight, or this preaching session, I'm not sure what to call it, has been about your comfort zones, which I like to call the stagnation zone. Why we stay there, why we're stuck, and the value that it holds. Uncertainty is not a lovely place, but it's the only place to grow. A ship is safe in the harbor, but it wasn't built for the harbor. That's the reality of the situation. And if you want more for your life, then we have to leave the harbor of safety. We have to dip our toe in the water. When you live in your head, you have a whole raft of thoughts about things, but you don't have experience, just thoughts. Could be this, could be that, could be this, could be that. But yo, bro, you ain't even dipped your toe in the water yet. How do you know? You don't know. You have a hypothesis. And for many of us who did GCSE science, you'll know that a hypothesis has to be tested. How do you test things? Through life. This is why I'm a massive advocate of getting out of your comfort zones. This is why I have my diary, small victories. My products, everything I sell, from all my books to my journals, come from the people, come from you guys. Comes from the people upwards, not here downwards. Comes from you. Small victories is a way for you to get out of your comfort zone. I must say that you are very good, straight to the point. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm a grassroots girl, and I think there is something about grassroots people that speak it. We speak straight from the hip. There's no long-windedness. I wouldn't make a very good politician, you know what I'm saying? Because they're long-winded, innit? They take you all the way around in circles. They never quite answer a question. Yeah? So I give thanks for that. I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm not the therapist for everybody though, because some people, they don't want to hear it. That's fine. It's your choice. I respect free will. And I'm not for, there's somebody else who might be able to help you. Blessings. What with ya? You see me? Yeah. It is what it is. But if we are a good fit, I want to see you shine. I want to see you grow. I want that for you, but I can't want more for you than you want for yourself. This is the work. And I respect that not everybody will do it. I respect that. And I don't believe therapy is the only way either. There are many ways. Many ways to fulfill our potential. Many ways. So if you've got any questions, I'm coming up to an hour. I hope my Claire is going to be proud of me. Feel free to ask. See, I got all this knowledge trapped in my head. Remember, I'm doing this every day. I'm alongside my humans. Yeah. But if you've got questions, ask. If there's something burning you, ask. If you have a curiosity, ask. I'm happy to help. I get a lot of inboxes. I get it. Potentially with me, people feel like they're being vulnerable, but it's okay. If you have a question, how to become more self-aware. Oh, my sister, that's the key to live a good life. Self-awareness is the only power we have. Self-awareness, I tell the people them all the time. I said, listen, you think you ain't going to meet another narcissist? You're flipping will. I don't care what books you read, how much therapy you've had, you will meet another one. The only power you have is the power of self-awareness. You have to catch your red flag behavior. Forget about the narcissist red flag behavior. You've got to catch yours. If you're overgiving, putting them on pedestals, this is self-awareness. So remember, in that kind of work, when we have a tendency to externalize everything. So we observe people, we look at people, we watch their behavior, Google or ChatGPT their behavior. But the challenge is often what happens is we don't have self-awareness. We're often looking outside of ourselves. And when we look outside of ourselves, we victimize ourselves. I know I used to with my baby father. I was like, how could he treat me like that? I'm so nice to this person. How could he do this? How could he do that? And when I stopped doing that, and I was like, looked at myself, I was like, oh, that's a game changer. Because now I see how I manifested my misery. Ouch. Now I see how I manifested my misery. I played my part too. And not everybody likes to hear that. Not everybody likes to hear that. And that's fine. Like I said, I ain't the therapist for everybody. My journey began with self-help reading. My first self-help book was Ian Levinson. Many of us brown people, we start with Ian Levinson. Well, I'm getting up in age now. Oprah was on the television one day. I saw her and I was like, oh my God, I need that book. First ever book I bought was called In the Meantime. And that, I tell you, that was the first book I ever bought. I never read before in my life. Reading is where I began. I took back my energy. I became curious about myself. I began curious about where my life was going. I could see my life was going in a very dark direction. And I didn't want to be a used and abused woman. Like, it's just not what I've wanted for myself. I didn't have any aspirations, but I didn't want to be used and abused. I know that for sure. So I began reading self-help books. And then from there, I went and studied. But when I trained as a therapist, you had to have therapy. So that wasn't until about 2012. I'm a therapist. I'm a massive advocate of therapy. But, you can, develop your self-awareness through other practice. People do Reiki, yoga, and so on and so forth. But to be frank, what often happens is people have a kind of very surface level of themselves, superficial level, but they don't get under the root. My transition is being a business coach therapist. So I help busy business owners with self-sabotage. When you want to understand self-sabotage, one has to go into the unconscious patterns. Self-sabotage is not a let's do positive affirmations like issue. It's self-sabotage is about how the unconscious, what's not been processed, is showing up. It's about our wounded child. Absolutely. The power of now. Absolutely. Do you find the influx of podcasts help people understand themselves more, listening to others? I think a lot of people preach on my field, and I'm not always sure they're qualified to be quite frank. Maybe that's me being precious. I'm not sure. I think the quality is, it depends who they're listening to. The thing in this field is learning and understanding it is only one part. Many of us know what we should do. It's like going to the gym, innit? We all know what we need to do. Application is key. And I think it's the application into our lives that is the greatest challenge for many of us. Because when you learn all this stuff, it's wonderful, but it's only on the top surface, not marinated to the bone. It needs to marinate to the bone, marinate into behavior. When it starts to seep through into your behavior. So, many people, I seriously believe we need more of our psychologists, psychotherapists to be talking about these areas, because, we've spent long and hard training. Maybe that's me being precious. And it isn't the only way, but I think it's a very important way. I think it's a very important foundation. so that when people go off to do XYZ, then they've got a solid foundation of that inner child wounds. Now, inner child wounds, you know, you can go and buy a workbook on it, but you're never going to get relationship. You're never going to get relationship. And in this time of AI, as we are, you know, aware of the AI, you know, my younger clients are coming in and say, Key, I don't know if you said it, it was ChatGPT. I was like, Ross, it looked like it's going to put me out of a job, but it can't, I believe, because it's relational. You know, it's relational work. So to be able to put that into practice, I'm very sharp at picking up on self-depreciation. How do I know? Because I used to do it to myself. And my therapist called me out about it. I used to hide behind humor. And I used to say, we call it flip, these little statements where I'm undermining myself. So the thing is, the client will never go where the therapist ain't been. Trust me, I've been budded up in that therapy chair, cried, snot bubbles and everything. Yeah, man, come out of there a wreck. Part of the process. Am I glad I did it? Absolutely. Absolutely no regrets. I believe there's only so far you can go on your own. I wrote today's newsletter and I said, you know, talking about this very topic, and I said, you know what, sometimes there's only so far we can truly go on our own. I watched Stephen Dartlett's Diary of a CEO. He understands people so much. Kay, yes, absolutely. Kai, I like Stephen Bartlett's. I do recommend some of his podcasts to people. He's got a very great way of inquiring with individuals, great questions. Absolutely. And he has some stellar people on there. The challenge is, you know, as I understand, someone was saying at my coaching group the other day that actually people pay to be on there. I'm not too sure about that. It's not for me to say. But I think the challenge is when something grows so big, obviously the little man doesn't get a chance. The little man like me, I'd love to do a podcast. If you know anybody, let me know. Tag a friend, tag a foe. I'm always up for podcasts. I've been on Scotty's podcast the other day, but I would love to do more connecting to people in that way. So, you know, the challenge is as they grow, they only want the big names. So for people who haven't reached that accolade, you know, so you get certain types. I think I saw somebody write recently that I think only 5 Black women have been on his podcast, you know. So, you know, it's also about, you know, you never want to get too big, you forget where you come from. And I'm not saying he comes from wherever, but the reality is, what about the little man? I'm sure he has a way of connecting with people, but obviously he's only going to let people of a certain stature. I assume anyway. You never know. Steve, if you want to give me a call, 0792 307 4304, I'm available. I'll clear my diary for you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, very educational. And it helps. It helps. You know, when people come in and but sometimes you have to be careful. There's a defense mechanism called intellectualization. And intellectualization can happen when a client comes in and they think them know everything. Them read every book, listen to every podcast. And sometimes I'm thinking, well, why are you here since you know so much? Why are they there? They're there because they can't assimilate the information into their behavior. And that's my duty, to handhold, to help, to assist. However, intellectualization can be a very strong defense mechanism. You have to tiptoe very delicately around that. I think that you should start a podcast. I've only been listening to you a few minutes. Do it. You know what, Kai? You know what? I just don't want to have to set up anything more. Like, I've done them all, right? I've done YouTube. I've got, like, I just want people to invite me to theirs. I come in, I sit down. They worry about editing. They worry about distribution. I don't want to create anything more. You know what I'm saying? Like, at this phase of my life, I think I'm looking to just... I want to be invited in. I don't want the responsibility, you know, but loads of people are like, you should do podcasts. I hear you. And I just want somebody else to do it. I rock up, do my thing and leave. You listen, you know how much hours I've spent on all kind of editing apps, doing this, doing that. It's not my lane. It's not my lane. So I would be appreciative if somebody else wanted to do it and they say, Key, come rock up. If you know somebody, you need someone on a podcast, let your girl Key know, because I'm down for it. I'm very funny. I'm entertaining. I'm educated. I'm hood smart. It's a lovely mix. It's a rare mix. And it would be good to see more working class folk on certain working class professionals, educated professionals, because we have to be ambidextrous. We have to be able to navigate both worlds with a sophistication that can't be taught. You understand? If you know, you know. If you don't know, then you just don't know. Sugar Keeley Taverner, I've been on here for how long? An hour now. Me thirsty. Thirsty now. So I give thanks to you guys. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your statements. Thank you for your queries. I'm passionate about helping people to manifest their potential. You see what? Listen, as far as I'm concerned, it's all about your potential. Who could you be? Many of us are living mediocre, small lives, and there's a dream inside you. Often our dreams connect back to our childhood. But as we get older, who am I? That can't be me. I can't do that. So we play small, we stay safe, and our potential becomes dormant. But let me tell you something, you can give up on your dream, but your dream never gives up on you. I dread to think where my life would be if I never took a chance on me. I took a chance on love. I took a chance on them. And it never worked for me. It backfired on me. It hurt me. It wounded me. So then I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a chance on me. Give thanks and praise. I live a purposeful, meaningful life. Kai, working class intellectuals. It's a bit like Dynamite's brother. What's his name? Listen, and he's a statistician as well. He's not like me. Like, he can put numbers behind it. And you know, the dominant power group love the numbers. They love the stats. We are rare. We are really rare. And it would be great to see more opportunities for us, because it's not an equal level playing field. And it is what it is. These are the cards we're dealt in life. I'm not here to cry about it. You understand? Because making a way out of no way has led me closer to God and a spiritual walk. And that's been invaluable. I'm glad I ain't no NHS job for me. Yeah, man. I wouldn't be living such a beautiful life. And with all the challenges that come with it. I ain't saying there ain't challenges. Of course there are. But it is what it is. You know? So the grit, the grind, the determination, the sacrifice, the delayed gratification that working class professionals have to go when you occupy spaces when people who don't pronounce their T's shouldn't be there. That's why that man on the economics, Gary Economics, does so well. You're not supposed to be there. He ain't supposed to be there. How did he get in the back door? It's beautiful. I love to see working class professionals talk about the things, who haven't compromised their authenticity. Yeah, we might be able to go to certain places, move in certain circles, but we ain't forgot where we come from. Trust me. I can't. If I go to my mum's yard and act like I forgot, my mum will remind me of who I am and where I come from. To a fellow psychotherapist, another loving brother, your words ring true. Bless you, 5-6. Can't see your name there. Yeah, man, definitely. You know, freedom is not free, and authenticity is a privilege, you know. And many of us, and I get it, we've had to conform, sit in the box, keep our mouths quiet, but you know, by God's grace, I have been blessed with angels around me who support me, who have a word with me, who tell me about myself. And thankfully, I'm pretty open. I'd like to think I'm not that defensive. I'm pretty open. I'll take it on board, because the reality is, I'm from Northwest 10, young mum, 2 kids on my own. I couldn't get precious. I had nothing to lose. I thought I might as well try going back to uni. I ain't got nothing to lose. I ain't got nothing to lose. What have I got to lose? What am I going to lose? My job at IKEA. Started at the bottom, now we're here. You know what I'm saying? Take a chance on yourself. Some of the energy we're putting into doom scroll, if you put half as much energy as you did into watching Netflix binge watch series, trust me, you can manifest genius in your life. But trust me, them devices got you on hold, and there's a real reason why them things are so sticky. My kids come in my house and like, why have you only got one television? Because you don't need it. It's not great for your greatness. Anyway, with that said, it's 9:30. It's your girl, Keeley Taverner. I want to thank you all. Any issues, challenges, or you want to query, inbox me. We have a group, Navigating Narcissism now. Every week we meet, and we are moving and shaking because it's all about your potential. Who could you be? And if that quest speaks to you, if you have a dream, an idea, an ambition, yet the voice in your head keeps you playing small and your circle ain't great for your greatness, inbox me. You ain't alone. And sometimes you just can't make it on your own. Peace and big thanks.